Hey y'all, welcome back to Big Creek Farms. We're finally rolling planting today. Well, we was planting a little bit yesterday too, mostly little patches, but just got Michael set up planting down there. He ought to be able to knock some acres out today. We're getting ready to walk out of the shop here. We've got a few projects going in here. Got a oil line that's leaking real bad on the back of this tractor. We got it tore apart, and we've got our handy dandy car lifter, or blocks, whatever you want to call them. Car lift. There we go. It's a stationary car lift. Getting ready to take the transmission out of this here wonderful unit, but that'll wait for now. I gotta get this crop in the field. So we're gonna walk over here. I've got a few bags of seed we took out of the tender because we switched varieties, and that's supposed to go south of town, and it looks like we potentially could have kind of a replant situation down there. And I was down there yesterday. It's hit or miss. I don't know what to do with it yet, but it's too wet to plant down there, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But we've got 4 bags of seed over there and 3 boxes of seed over there. We're gonna run them in the shed, and then we're gonna get the anhydrous applicators since we're done with them for now. I'm gonna park them in here in the shed out of the sun, and then hopefully by around noon I'll be running that big rig over there and everybody can watch it run. It ain't been out yet this spring, and it's kind of an interesting tool. I'd say it's about the only one like it in the world. 16 row, that is. There's some more around the area, but for those of you who know, you know. But anyhow, we're gonna get this stuff tucked away and tidy up this place a little bit so we can keep cramming some seeds in the ground. Doing the machinery shuffle. Deal on some seed sacks if anybody wants them. Mattress too. Michael called. He needs fuel and he needs moved, so we're gonna hop in the truck, fuel it up, and go get him moved to the next patch. I'll get the other anhydrous rig put in here in just a minute. We got the tractors unhooked from the toolbars, so that's done. I think got all the seed in. We've tidied up the place a bit, so it's easier to get in and out. So I guess the next thing on the list is to go get that cultivator and see how many spiders is out on it. This is what they call a Lilliston rolling cultivator. It is a tool that my dad and uncles used for many years now. And it makes ridges, or it can make ridges, and it works the ridges. Basically the ridge will be here, and this is what you call a spider. This one works the top, this one works one side, well, this one works the other side, and then this runs down the valley, throwing some dirt on each side. It's relatively simple. It's just thousands of bearings here, but I'm gonna go across this thing and see if any of these will spin, which they seem pretty tight, but they'll break loose as long as the bearings ain't completely out. I won't mess with changing them. I might throw a few up here on the rack, and we ain't gonna use it for too many acres, so it ain't gonna be in the best of shape, but hopefully that hangs in there. It's a little bulgy, but it's been like that a year or two or 5. Anyhow, we're gonna go across this thing, look for things like this, and just switch them out and then head over to the field. All right, new plan. There's so many of these bearings that look like they're on the verge of death. We're gonna take it to the field. I'm gonna take a can of spray paint with me, and as they go out or start to lock up, surely I can get over, I think there's only 50 acres over there. I'm gonna mark them with paint, and before I go down to the bottoms with it, I'm gonna bring it back here and replace the ones that I've found that are junk, and hopefully none of them just lock up on me, but we'll see if anything will even spin. So we'll put this jack stand up, head over to the field. Well, it's all junk. You can feel this air to the video. It feels like it's blowing straight off a dragon's breath. So I guess I'll go get the AC gauges, see if I can juice this thing up a little bit. Okay, that's much better. Maybe we'll head to the field now. Well, I haven't picked up the camera all afternoon. I got started working, and I've been on the phone, and it was dusty, so I've just been paying attention, I guess. But we're about to polish off an 80 now. Got the 50 worked up there, up the road, and I don't even know what time it is. It's like 7:30 or something. But we got a 40 over there by that woods. But you can see how well this double rig does. It works pretty slick. We worked it once. We got a single cultivator. He's down there getting ready to cross into the 40. You probably can't see him, but here's what we're working with: a single, one pass here, double cultivator over it, so that's 3 times. It's pretty well worked all the water hemp and weeds out. There's a few patches that the weeds were real thick, but I think it'll pretty well stun them enough until we get in here to spray the beans once they're planted. But this is how we farm our bottom ground for the most part on these beds. I ain't really ever got out and talked about them, but essentially the row will be right down through here, and it keeps it elevated, and whenever you have wet conditions it stays drier and warmer on top of these beds. But anyhow, we're just back here checking everything out. There's bearings out all across this thing. They just keep spinning, so I ain't worried about it. That cylinder is gonna end up being a problem if we had much more to work, but past that, everything's hanging together. Got some slight sweep wearage, but there's one that's either plugged up or the bearing's going out. Yep. It might start spinning again. But since it ain't as dusty here, I might try setting the camera back here so you guys can see this thing work. These are pretty cool machines. I'd have a love-hate relationship with them. You can do a lot of things with these. You can set these spiders different angles and tilts. You can use them as weed control. I mean, you take these over the rows off and leave these here with some crop shields, and you can cultivate the weeds out of your beans or corn or anything. I mean, there's multiple things you can do with these tools. They are pretty neat, but holy cow, the mosquitoes are bad back here. Anyhow, I'm gonna get back in the cab before these mosquitoes carry me away. I'll sit you back here somewhere and let you just watch the fun. Here, I stopped with the implement in the ground. You can kind of see how this works on this bed. Here's the center, the lowest point. Shank runs down it. Spider runs on that side. One in the middle, one on that side. The whole thing's worked relatively deep, but still don't work some things out. But for the most part, everything else is out. Here's a little in-cab view of the big behemoth. It's 40 foot wide, 16 row. My dad beefed it up a little bit. It was originally, they was 12 row before, and then they went 16, but they didn't make the actual hitch part of it that pulls the double rig. The guy from Kentucky, I think, kind of came up with that idea. They might have been even 10 row, 36-inch beds, I'm not real sure, before my time. But the old camera battery is starting to flash at me, so I guess I should cut this video off. Thanks for watching. Keep those subscribes coming. Hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.